What we're doing with the exhibition, as you probably know, is we're going to change which work is screened in here every week or so, and every week one of the artists or the scientist collaborators will be here to talk about it, and we'll do these kind of lunchtime or Saturday morning talks so that the public can come in as well. So thank you for all squeezing into our bespoke screening space.
Yes.
And he's going to talk a bit about his work, about this project in particular, about the objects he's chosen which are on display in the case outside, and we'll have a kind of free-flowing conversation as well. I'm sure you're happy to be interrupted and have questions. Do I get to sit in the last seat?
Trust Genome Campus in Cambridge. But I'm going to start by taking you through some of the background of my own practice and how I kind of got to making this film. And then I'll go into the process of collaborating with people. And I use kind of the technologies of the digital in my work. So ideas of remixing content, appropriating content, ideas of bricolage. So all the kind of ideas that are out there where people are taking videos and fictional kind of personas, alter egos and characters, and then working with mass groups and voicing what they might do, or asking them to do. Alongside that particular show, I had a kind of manifesto during a residency at Grisdale Arts in Cumbria. I worked with local people to look at work. And I'll just talk about one other piece of kind of past work. So this is a place called, briefly outlining, connect with what we did in the signal and the noise. So the project began by going down this, and a lot of his research entails analysing a lot of genome data, day in, day out. And he's particularly interested and focused on genetically influenced behaviour, such as fear. So he showed me around some of the computer suites and some of the data centres that they have there, as well as and at the start of the project, it was a really big learning curve because it was trying to understand some very complex science that Darren was doing, trying to understand genetic coding and how it worked. In February 2016, it cost $1,000 and can happen in 2 weeks. So what interested me was this is quickly developed into something that we will soon be able to we can already carry about various things which are mentioned in the video, and I'll come to more later, such as optogen. Most about these was their parallels to the language of computing. And the language of computing is then heavily used. These were ideas that were being discussed with the scientists, and Darren himself was particularly interested. So the film has this very particular voice, and the voice is So as I developed the storyboard, I worked with Darren to modify the script and hone it down. I built it in the 6-minute film. And that 6-minute film, I think, hopefully works as a way of again performing this stuff on the audience and adding this layer to what they're hearing, getting them to question things. And so then choosing the objects and think about how these objects could fit together into their own kind of story that joins up with the film. So the idea was really as if the people behind the film had come and looked at the whole database of objects and come up with objects that kind of represent their views, their intent. So again, adding this which I think is a particularly interesting idea when you apply it to technology of any sort, any kind of black boxed technology, any type of machine. And if you think, basically the idea of the hyperobject is that if you unwrap a black box or depunctualize any kind of technology, there's this incredibly complex narrative and mesh behind it, which is kind of made up of human and non-human moving parts. And so for a mobile phone, you'll find that the capacitor is made out of coltan, it's mined in the Democratic Republic of Congo, it has this huge impact on people, on the mountain gorilla population, all of these things unravel. Then of course the whole thing is taken apart in an e-waste site, and that's where it ends its life, and all of these other things. So the true narrative of devices
to include all different perspectives, for example, from just ordinary people on the street, or maybe just yourself, or maybe the scientist or engineer behind the technology, how you include all the different perspectives into the video or any books you're trying to produce. Or at the end, so as an output, what do you think from the original perspective? So what kind of output did you try to achieve at the end?
So which project you with this?
Precisely like
Try to also keep to the methods I've used in other projects of having a diverse range of clips, not kind of pretending that I'm suddenly just an animator or whatever. So I did really kind of stick to that. So it's an amalgamation of lots of things and a real honing process to try and get it to be what you want it to be. So it's not dissimilar to doing painting. That's the fear bit. That's the dystopia bit. That that's there. The idea was that the transmission is coming from a kind of code space. I'm not saying what that space is, but where the codes are all kind of joined together or interacting with each other. And those cut-out holes might be from that. They might be from other things, looking closely at things. But that was kind of the idea behind it. So yeah.
Susanna, when's our
Thank you so much for coming. Yeah.
I would say that I'm
I had a lot of footage with him actually. I was saying that I had some, you know, I know that's mainly only been done with mice, but we kind of wanted to be playful about what it could be and these kind of things. Absolutely. Yeah. And then I found a way to
I was going to say
lots of people have and said, yeah, it's their ways, or they can give me feedbacks, and I just adjust it.
The central dogma was first developed in 1956.
I'm finished, yeah.
we come in and it was more